It's midwinter at the Ojai Valley Museum, formerly a Catholic church. The current exhibit tells about Krishnamurti's legacy in Ojai, but we're going to take a short tour of the exhibits related to the native Chumash, a culture that inhabited the coast, islands, and valleys around here 13 millennia before Europeans arrived. But first we'll walk around back to the patio and parking lot. This is a garden of native plants used for diet, health, and cultural practices.
Tomorrow brings us a brighter day, but I know nothing will change if I don't get up and try. It's time for me to do my part, but it's gotta come.
Also featured is what's named a birthing rock, which I'm told turned up in an orchard and initially got hauled to a private residence as a landscape feature. The rock landed here. The sign says it was scraped. You can see the scraped areas. For material to mix with water, then applied for a fertility treatment. It took me years to discover the birthing rock, possibly due to its remote location in the parking lot, and possibly because of the minimal signage from inside the building. The garden also serves as a storage area of sorts, and you can see the stacks of roof tiles and even a tipped-over granite headstone from 1903 for 12-year-old William H. Ayres, whom I'm guessing wasn't native.
Lose your dignity, 'cause if you do, no one will hear you cry. So think before you talk. Matters what we do. Gotta keep your head to get the message through. Lead from the left, gotta do what's right. It's getting harder every day to put up a good fight.
Now we'll move inside to the featured Chumash exhibit, which is a small collection of artifacts plus a few brief panels claiming to describe the historic encounter with Europeans. Actually, these descriptive paragraphs conform to typical Anglo-European tropes, relying on the no-blame explanation of disease for the devastating mortality rate, and zero mention of the virtual enslavement of the Indians to build and run the missions and support Spanish imperialist expansion. No mention of the destruction of villages, guns, cannons, long forced marches, ropes, chains, and stocks for human control, plus malnutrition and whippings, and worse for punishment. Of course, no mention of the Indians' persistent resistance and rebellion. A native scholar told me that the language used here could have been written by the Padres themselves. One wonders, if our museum wants to tell the native story, shouldn't we tell it right? Now we'll look at the gift and bookshop, which offers dozens of titles, including many youth books. Not surprising, these books provide only the usual theme of a once proud people dramatically reduced in number due to disease. Not by capture and enslavement, malnutrition, spiritual repression, torture, or general brutality. Responding to my request, the museum recently added the young adult trilogy Lands of Our Ancestors by Gary Robinson. These books tell of one family's multi-generational resistance, first to the Spanish, then to Mexico, and eventually to the Gold Rush Americans. A narrative that doesn't minimize, obfuscate, or marginalize Native history in California. Here's another book by Elias Castillo, detailing the mission era from the Indian point of view. Maybe the museum can include it on the shelf. We can do better. I realize our presentation is somewhat critical, but this matter is urgent. This business of telling the truth about the history of Native Americans. The museum board and administration are in a position to join other museums, schools, and the state of California to include a truer story of the state's native people. Thank you for watching.
See the fool up on the hill. He's trying hard to break our will, but the truth will persist.